Hello. So if you're a participant of Tempe Adult Day Health Services, um, I, maybe the other sites, Phoenix and Glendale, do this or have done this before COVID. But at Tempe, we would have a program called Time Slips. And Time Slips was an opportunity for the participants to be creative in making a story based off of a picture. There was no right or wrong answer. It was just an opportunity for them to open up their minds and their creativity and create something as a group. And so today, because it would be really hard to create a story without the feedback immediately, I want to try to take one of the ideas from the Time Slips program called Engaging Questions. And so from your home, if you can just bear with me, and as I ask you some questions, you just think about how you would answer them. So first off, I want you to think about what is a treasure? For me, when I think of treasure, I think of pirates and buried treasure and the treasure trunk with lots of jewels and gold and coins. Something that is precious, something that's priceless, something that's dear to someone. That's what I think of when I think of a treasure. So because we aren't able to meet together and because of this pandemic, and everyone is trying to be healthy and safe, and a lot of that is to, spend more time at home, right? At least I know my family and I have. So I hope you are well and you are safe, and you are finding ways to be engaged and enjoy your time with family and at home. But so because of that, I want you to think about this question. What do you treasure in your home? Okay, so I want you to take a moment, and I want you just to either walk around your house or where you're sitting watching this, look around and see what in your home you treasure. Maybe it's a picture of your family. Maybe it's a decor item. Maybe your favorite decor item that you treasure. Maybe it's a souvenir you got from a trip that you took. Maybe it's a piece that was passed down from generation to generation, an heirloom. Maybe it's a piece of art. So I want you to just take a second, and as you look around and find that treasure, or you think of that treasure that's within the walls of your home, I'm going to share with you a couple of mine. So I think we all have lots of treasures that we can find in our home. I have a picture of my family, of course. I have a photograph of a important place that's dear to my heart that I lived in Illinois, hanging in my wall. And then behind me is this framed, if you can tell, it's like an oversized doily. And then there's another one that I want to share with you that's probably my top treasure that I'll speak of. But as I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. Actually came from my mother and father-in-law, and it is from Paraguay. And they had lived in Paraguay for a couple of years doing some service. And this hung in their home until recently, and now we get to enjoy it. This is a treasure to me, not just because it came from my husband's parents and my husband's side of the family, but it reminds me of my husband and I's marriage and wedding day. Our theme was rustic vintage, and so we used a lot of doilies at our wedding and reception. And so every time I look at that, I come back to that time just about 4 years ago that we got married. Okay, have you thought about a treasure or two that you have, an item that you treasure? Now I want you to think about that item. I want you to think about where it's located. Is it displayed for everyone to see, your family, yourself, guests and visitors that come into your home, like this framed doily? Is it in your bedroom for your own personal enjoyment? Is it hidden away? Do you have it put away and packed up for safekeepings? Do you get this treasure, this item, just on special occasions? Do you get it out and admire it and talk about it? Do you talk about this treasure often? Are there lots of conversations about this treasure with your family members or your friends? Now I want you to think about, why do you treasure this item? What about it makes it so special, makes it priceless? Okay. So one of my kind of top treasures that is in my home are my photo journals. So I started scrapbooking when I was 12 years old. You know, scrapbook paper, the photo corner where you actually print out each of your pictures. I get lost when I scrapbook or when I do my photo journals. And it's not just when I sit down and lay out the book. It's throughout the whole year. I'm constantly thinking about my photo books and what I'm going to put in them, what I'm going to say in them, what memories I want to capture with my camera. So that's why my photo journals are my treasures. So I'm going to show you a couple of them. So these are, I call them photo journals because they're just not pictures with just like one-line captions. There's a lot of collages of pictures, but there's also a lot of narrative paragraphs about significant events or experiences that I've had. And so, for instance, like this book right here, I have about a dozen of these digital books, and what I do is, instead of printing off the pictures, I upload them onto my computer and put them in different layouts using an online program where I customize the books. So like, for instance, this book, I have a lot of pictures and experiences of my travels and who I went on trips with. I have like a summary of kind of what that year consisted of. So this just goes through some of my life experiences, some of my favorite moments, some of the people that made a difference in my life, people, I have experiences with people at work. I also do photo books of like very significant trips. So like my mom and dad and I took a trip to Israel. So this book consists of all the places that I traveled through Israel with my parents and the special experiences I had and the things that I learned on that trip culturally and just the significance of the places that I toured. And then I made this one, and this one is my husband and I's wedding album, and it consists of just our story. So how we met, and it actually has like a timeline with pictures of us dating, and then the timeline of what happened during our courtship and when he proposed. So I have like a whole story, like a journal entry of how he proposed and what happened during the proposal and how I felt through our wedding, preparation to our guests at our wedding. And so that's another book. So this is my kind of my treasure I wanted to really focus on today and share with you regarding how I would answer the question, what do you treasure in your home? I chose this, and this is my treasure because I want to leave a story about me and my life and who I met and what I did and experience in my life to my kids and my grandkids and my posterity. And so this is kind of my life story that I'm writing through these photo journals. And I do one, like I said, about every year and a half of my life. And so I'm sharing my life with my family. And it's funny, when people ask me what my hobby is, I go straight to my treasure. I go straight to those photo books and how I make them and why I make them. I lose track of time when I do these. That's how important this treasure is. So I want you to think of your treasure, and why is that item your treasure? Is it because it brings back a memory of someone or a time or experience that you had? Is it because it signifies something important to you and who you are? Does it hold a story? You know, my books tell a story. It's a visual tool of telling my life story. But I think that your treasure can tell a story without it being right there. Now I want you to think about, okay, you treasure it, but how does it make you feel? Does it make you happy? Does it bring joy to you? Do you feel full? Does your heart feel full when you think about your treasure and satisfied? Do you feel warm inside? Or does it bring heartache sometimes? You know, my books just don't hold all the happy experiences. They hold maybe at the time happy, but you know, my books, I tell about relationships. They bring joy from that time that I was experiencing, but also bring sadness because the friends and these that I'm not close to. So it kind of makes me sad a little bit. So the treasures hold a lot of fulfillment and create a lot of emotions for the owner of that treasure. So how does this treasure make you feel? To close, I want you to, if you can, get a piece of paper and write those feelings down. How does your treasure make you feel? Is there a story behind that treasure? Is there an experience in your life that is held with that tangible item? Write that down and put it near that treasure. Maybe it's a photo. Write those feelings down on the back of that photo. If it's a piece of furniture or decor, write it down and tape it behind that piece of furniture if you can. Or maybe if you're a journal writer, write those feelings and talk about the thing that you have that you treasure in your home. And state why it's so precious and so important to you. Because I promise you that treasure holds a lot of importance to you. During this COVID time that we're in, we are in our homes, and our homes tell a story. And so I want you to take the time to share with your family, share with your friends, share with those visitors that do come into your home if you have visitors, and be willing to share those stories and those emotions that you have for the things that you treasure. You'll find enjoyment, and then those that you share with will find enjoyment in hearing about you and about your stories because they are part of you. So again, what is a treasure? What do you treasure in your home? And how are you treating it as a treasure? I encourage you, if it's hidden away, to bring it out more often. If it's only brought out on special occasions, bring it out more often and show it to your grandkids or other family members. Tell them about it because they're going to appreciate hearing about you and those stories and seeing that treasure, that item that you see as your treasure and the treasure of your home. So thank you very much. I hope you take the time to look around your home and see the wonderful treasures that you have and that you've collected throughout your life, and have some time to reminisce about what that treasure or those treasures bring to your life and can bring to others.